The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and Lenny is with us. He's got a special guest. How are you, Lenny?
I am blessed, and I'm getting tired of this dodgy takeover of American TV and Hollywood and Kurt. I just saw Richard Pryor coming back from the dead. I saw Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Harold Reynolds. Everybody's coming back out from the dead. I saw Jesse Jackson. Rudy, who have you seen? It's fighting. All of a sudden, it's weird, man.
Rudy Law.
The Dodgers takeover.
Rudy Law is even coming out. Rudy Law, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Rudy? Very nice to meet you.
Rudy, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
And now, how are you, sir? Nice to meet you. I'm Ralph Tyko. Honored to have you.
Oh, that's nice to be here. Unexpected, but nice to be here anyway.
All right. You still keep up with it? Are you still a Dodger fan?
Oh, yeah. I've been a Dodger fan since I played for him. You can't help but be a Dodger fan once you play for him.
All right. Well, I understand the hip to the hop, but I grew up as a Giant fan in New York. So now I am a Met fan, and that's my fandom. Rudy,
let me kind of put it to you like this:
how you met Lenny Randle. He's the star of the show. Yeah. And what was your meeting like? How did you get together?
When I first met him, I was like, "Wow, this guy is short, but he's good." Matter of fact, he's still short.
And he's still good. All you got to do is ask him. He'll tell you.
Yeah. No, Lenny's awesome. Really. Lenny's awesome.
Is.
I mean, you never meet a better person.
No, what a thrill it is for me. I have to tell you that, Lenny. We're into our fourth week of doing this, and this is some cool beans. Last week I got to meet Linda on the air, and wow, Lenny,
Rudy, what's the deal is I bring in guests that shocks him all over the world. Italy, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Palm Springs, and where are you at, in Hawthorne or Dodger Stadium right now, or Kansas City?
I'm in Hawthorne right now.
Hawthorne, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hawthorne's on the map now.
Mm-hmm.
Can I find a little bit about you? I was the Topps rep back in the day, and our paths never crossed. So, how did you sign? Were you come out of high school to sign originally?
No, I saw him when we was in pro ball. I would guess maybe my third year in or somewhere or another. And once we
not with Topps. I'm talking about how did you sign to get to the Dodgers?
Oh, okay. Basically, they just saw me play. They just really saw me play on the weekend, like a tournament and whatnot. And they offered me a bat and a couple of gloves, and it was on after that.
All right.
Yeah, basically all I needed was an opportunity because, I didn't really get any money to sign. I was like a free agent. That means you sign for free. And you almost pay for free the first couple of years because I remember my first year I made $500 a month. After car note, rent, we was out there playing for free. It was a trip, but it was, all you need is opportunity sometimes. So basically,
who was your first manager in A-ball?
A-ball, my first manager was a guy named Bill Barrier. He was a drill sergeant.
Did he set the tone? Did he help set the tone for how things were going to be in your minor league career?
He helped set the tones of what things were like in the Army. He was a drill sergeant, so that's how he acted with the players. He was a tough guy to play for, you know.
Okay.
Ralph, you got to understand this. When you break into pro ball, you're clueless. You leave high school, your high school coach is the best thing since, I don't know, Gandhi or Ali or somebody. You're just a great guy. Your high school coaches. After your high school coaches, you're a pro ball. It's like being in the military because the military regime mentality on how to keep men together. Some guys are straight out of Vietnam or Desert Storm or, they're military baseball players who brought military attitudes to the field. And that esprit de corps thing, it carries over into baseball. That's why you see the bond.
Now, that couldn't have been much of an adjustment for you, Lenny, because your dad was military and you grew up in a disciplined household. Rudy, I don't know jack about you. I know that when I went into the Air Force as a middle-class white guy, it was tough for me adjusting to military decorum and what have you. How was it for you?
Well, basically, like I say, when you have a manager like that, you have to adjust, adapt, and overcome. And maybe be a little humble, but still you got to keep your, integrity. But, like I say, it was tough. I mean, this guy, I remember breaking my finger diving back to first base on a pickoff. And so I get to third base. He's third base coach and my finger's broke. And he's like, I can fix it for you. I'm like, can't we just wait till after the game, go to the doctor? So basically he grabbed my finger and he pulled it and basically I played with a broke finger for like a month and a half. He just put a splint, threw some tape on it, and I was hitting with one finger out. I did a lot of bunting, a lot of slapping the ball, but I ended up hitting 335, and every once in a while I would point it at him and say, yeah, you got me playing with a broke finger. And it happened to be my middle index finger, so it was deep. Hit.
Oh. So you could point it. It's like with me, it was look at my Air Force ring, and I had the Air Force ring on the middle finger.
But that just goes to show you, though, when you want to make it to the big leagues, you're desperate, you're dang near homeless and stuff. You do what it takes to make it happen. I had a lot of ability, but it took a lot of will and a lot of self-preservation. And what's amazing about Major League Baseball, when you get to certain levels, you get coaches who never had no success, but then they trying to tell you how to hit or do. I remember one time I had a coach, he hit like 230 something because I checked his average because I just came off a 388 year. And so he tried to change my stance, and I looked at his record. I'm like, this fool hit 220 something. How the hell is he trying to help me? So basically, I had to tell him, like, look, I got to do my own thing. I can't do what you tell me. You ain't had no success, so how you gonna help me? So, won't that is? There's all kinds of stories you can tell about baseball, but that's just one quick one.
Hey, let me ask you this: who greased the way for you in the Dodger organization that made it easy for you to progress?
Okay, there was a couple of guys coming up in the minors. Ron Washington, he used to be he was the coach for the
defensive coach.
Yeah, Ron Washington.
Gave him one of his gold gloves.
And who taught me base running was Maury Wills. So I give him credit to those two guys. And then one guy, even in the minor leagues, a guy named Hank Jones, who taught me how to play the outfield to a certain degree because I had no clue.
Okay.
No clue.
You got to remember something, Ralph. The Dodgers organization is like
versatility. You're from the Lenny Randle School of Versatility, Rudy.
Yeah.
The Dodgers did school-type baseball. They actually had classes, and they would instruct, like it was a classroom, how to get to the ball faster, how to bunt, how to steal. It was like a regular college class, and that's how they brought their players out.
You know what's amazing? You can sign and you can have all the ability in the world, but I mean, when I got in the Dodger organization, I thought I could play some baseball, but I was stupid to a lot of things. So basically, I learned, a lot of the basics, in the Dodger way of playing baseball and learning from the best. So, and then, you got to have the humbleness to listen and want to learn. But if it's good for you, you keep it in. If it's not good for you, you let it go in one ear after the other. So yeah, I learned a lot about baseball because I didn't know jack bananas.
Having Maury Wills as a manager, Ralph, I had him as a manager with the Texas Rangers, and he was bringing that Dodger way over to Seattle Mariners. And George Arthur brought him in, and he was, L.A. guy that taught the Mariners with Danny Kaye. So that image of Hollywood and baseball and tutoring and classes, Maury brought, we had to actually have, Richie Just, Gaylord Perry, Joe Simpson, and Julio Cruz and Dave Henderson. We're all in a room studying baseball again. Like it's, get a guy over. This is why you're getting a guy over. You want to advance. You can get one pitch or 4 pitches and score a run. This is how the Dodgers do it. This is the Dodger way. Maury was showing us techniques of base stealing, hit and run. 4 pitches done, and all of a sudden there's a guy at third, and you got 1 run. You can call it small ball, stealing ball, belly ball, whatever.
Sacrifice fly.
You get on, you're going to score, period. You're going to get a run, automatic. You're going to get a guy at third. And it worked.
Here's a good example, too, about Maury. I remember coming off of a season where I stole 30-some bases, and then I got with Maury for over the winter, and he taught me how to read pitchers, how to get good jumps, and I mean, I went from 30-some bases to 79 the next year. So you can have all the speed in the world, but if you don't take time to learn the knowledge and how to read pitchers and et cetera, you're not going to have much success.
A good
Ralph, Rudy still has the Dodger record.
Maury's teammate was Willie Davis, who was probably as fast as anybody in baseball. And Maury was a better base stealer. He wasn't as fast, but he got the jumps, all that.
Rudy wore that number, in case folks didn't know that. Rudy was number 3, like 3 Dog. That was Davis's.
He was a good friend of mine.
And Rudy holds the record for most stolen bases by Dodger rookie year, 40. Still stands.
Wow.
Ralph, so we were the Dodger legend.
Oh yeah. Off the air before when you told me that Rudy was going to be a guest, my exact reaction was, "Whoa, good get."
You know what's amazing? I didn't know I was going to be a guest till like a couple of minutes before you guys called.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but it's true.
You're quick on your feet, as quick with your mind as you were on your feet. How's that?
Well, basically, Lenny's one of my best friends on this planet, so I'd do anything for Lenny.
Nice to hear. You have no idea how many people feel just as you do. You are universally loved, internationally loved. Lenny Randle. Rudy, you haven't heard it. Did you ever play in Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, I love playing there. Matter of fact, I hit a couple home runs at Yankee Stadium, so yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you. It's my only talent, Rudy, so here it goes. Now batting for the Dodgers, number 3, Rudy Law.
You almost sound like the real announcer if you wasn't here.
That might have been the idea. That might have been the idea, Rudy. That when you said that made me tingle a little bit. Thank you, sir.
That sounds like a recording from the past.
Scary man, Ralph.
Yeah.
All right. So when Lenny has a gig for me as public address announcer, he knows where to find me.
Here's a quick Lenny Randle story. When Lenny Randle, got up to the plate and stuff, since Lenny was like, I don't know how tall he is. I'm guessing about 5 feet even, maybe about 4'9". But Lenny get in the crowd, they could throw those strikes because he didn't have no strike zone.
I had a Billy Barney strike. I had a Billy Barney strike zone.
No, that's just a joke. I just got jokes. I just like to, clown Lenny sometimes. That's my boy.
I know.
Well, hey, me and Tattoo.
That's
Rudy,
funny.
when you stopped playing ball, what was the adjustment like? Did you think about getting into coaching?
I was thinking about committing suicide. I'm just joking. That's a joke. No. I thought about it and stuff, but at the time, basically, I just like teaching. But sometimes they have their favoritism, the guys they go with. So that never happened for me. I coached a couple of high schools, but basically, my knowledge is it ain't gonna die with me, but I have helped out some kids in high school and done some clinics and stuff like that. But no, sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. But now I'm at an age now where I can care less about coaching to a certain degree because I'm 61. Shoot, I'm trying to breathe every day. I ain't got time to be standing on my feet for 5-6 hours. No, it ain't gonna happen.
Tell me about it, Rudy. I'm going to be
I just
71.
You're 71 now?
I can't even walk to the corner store. My
Ralph.
calves be hurting and stuff. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Ralph, let me share this with you. Ralph,
please.
He's an avid fisherman, and I met him out at Pomona. He was out at a lake. This was about 20, 30 years ago, and we were doing a camp out in Pomona School District, Unified School District. We do an annual camp tour throughout the city, my family, and do scholarships. Rudy had on his overalls, and I said, dude, what are you doing out at the lake? Because the park at the field is right near the lake. I said, get the overalls and the pole, bring it over to the field and talk to these kids. I said, folks, we got a real Dodger in khakis and overalls fishing at the lake. I said, this is how I learned to hit with Ted Williams, fishing at a lake. And he comes over and he goes,
mentioning that, and it makes so much sense. I saw a picture of Ted Williams with a 1,200-pound frickin' fish, and the other day it was bigger than him, and like I say, 1,250 pounds. You got to have strong hands. And you mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, how he would teach hitting technique while teaching you to fish.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much arm strength and wrist and power it takes to bring in a marlin or a 12 or 40-pound fish back, because it's not coming in quick. You have to really let it loose, and pull it in and loose. It's a workout. So I looked at Rudy's arms, and he had little pipes, little Popeye pipes. I didn't know how much fishing or if he was a bricklayer, but
Quick Dodger Town story. Dodger Town, they had like 2 lakes up there. They had like one lake at the golf course. I remember catching a 5-pound bass at the little lake, and I took it in to the cook, and he hooked it up with me. Cooked it up for me and stuff. So it was, I had a lot of special moments with the Dodgers.
Well, Vero Beach is I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's like a museum. It was Dodger Town.
Yeah. I hated they left, I mean, there's a lot of history there, a lot of fans that those are real fans. The Vero Beach fans are real Dodger fans because they knew the Ebbets Field stories, when they were Dodgers with the bums and the New York bums and all that, and when they defected or AWOL to L.A., they still had a following from historically, kind of like the Yankee Met fans that just follow them anywhere they go on the planet. So half of the fans that in L.A. are from they're from New York.
Was it a big adjustment going back and playing in Florida and playing in the South and what have you, the racial thing notwithstanding, weather-wise?
Well, you're talking about as far as walking to a restaurant to eat and stuff like that, or walking into
No. I said don't worry about the racial. I wasn't talking about the racial thing. I was talking about the adjustment of playing in the southern humidity. The racial thing.
The weather. Okay, the weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Well, it's humidity. Yeah. When you're from California, it's 90 degrees every day. Palm Springs 102. You get used to the heat. I was in Arizona State for 5 years. So it was 120. So Florida was a break. It was like 85. So weather and heat is never a problem unless you make it a problem. I mean, Frank Kirsch had us in the 102 weather on Camp Arizona, and we didn't care about the heat. We were trying to win a title. And we had 4-course meals. We practiced at 6 a.m. We were done at noon. Everybody else had stress because they would finish between 1 and 4, and that was when it was hot. We finished between 6 and 11.
I meant to ask you, did you play with McClendon? Was he about your
the running back?
Yeah.
The running back? Yeah. I played with him. Brent McClanahan was with the Vikings.
Right.
Brent McClanahan he's a teacher.
He won the Super Bowl 2 years after ASU. Did you play along that time?
Yeah, we played together. Did
you know a guy named Scott Gilpin? Gilpin?
Sun Devil.
Yes.
Sun Devil, Arizona State. Sun Devils never died. We just multiply.
No, Scott Gilpin was ASU.
Yeah.
He didn't play ball.
But I'm just saying the whole history of ASU fans is still, I don't know, people kind of tease us about San Jose State fans, Sacramento State, there's a fan base. I don't know who you follow college-wise, but the Arizona State, SC, UCLA, San Jose State, Idaho, those little towns and places like that have more of a following and the loyalty, kind of like Wisconsin and Minnesota fans. They're true to the death. So once you're a member of any of those fan clubs or fan base or college base, player or non-player, it's kind of like the thing with the Dodgers and Mets and Yankee fans. It's a loyalty. They don't change. You're born into it. You could be born a Sun Devil or born now I guess it's Warriors on the West Coast. As a basketball player, little Warrior outfit. They have little Warrior diapers now.
Hey, Rudy,
so,
podcast radio is kind of selfless self-promotion. So what you got going that you want to get the word out?
Well, basically, nothing really. I mean, I'm just a survivor. I just live every day and try to be happy and wait for a call from Lenny.
Well, here's his call. We're going to have a Christmas camp, Rob.
Wait for Lenny.
We're having a Christmas camp. You'll be invited. Just relax. Take it easy. We got Christmas camp coming up, holidays for 2 weeks. We got it. That'll be in California with the Yankee players. Aaron Judd will be out as well. In fact, they just showed up yesterday.
So it's going good, Lenny.
Facility. Yeah, it's going great. So all these kids want to be like the next Rudy Law. They want to be the next Garvey. They want to be the next Fade. They want to be the next Morton Mills.
Well, you're going to have a hell of a time topping this as a podcast producer, but we'll talk tomorrow morning, same time. And Rudy, thank you. I'm honored that you're on the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network airwaves.
It was my pleasure, and thank you for having me. Look forward to talking to you guys again.
Please,
Rudy, I'll let you go get your. Ralphie's getting ready to go get a geisha back massage. It's a Dodger thing. Talk to you later.
Well, it's a good life, Lenny Randle.
It's a good
and
life.
I can see it's a good life for you, Rudy Law.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, and you guys take care.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. We'll be back with the next segment. Stand by. Adios, everybody. We are back. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I've got the man himself, Lenny Randle. How are you this morning, sir?
Rocking and rolling, because the city of L.A. and Los Angeles, California is just it's having a meltdown, and they're cooling off with the Dodger win.
Oh, yeah. Kind of cool. I have to admit, I rooted for them I'm an old Giant fan, but I definitely rooted for them to get in and play the Yankees, and that didn't happen. So,
well, you could have an imaginary game like Dale Campbell, our guest today, former California Angel, first baseman and graduate of Pepperdine University, Hall of Famer of Pepperdine, one of the greatest first basemen in the history of Pepperdine Hall of Fame baseball, as well as one of the great angels and ambassadors in the Major League Baseball Urban Academy. He worked down there and also for education in the Compton Unified and LA Unified School District. And he's got like 20 Murray Wills questions for me today about base running, first to third, second to home. And it all depends on the speed and the coaches and who's hitting and how many outs and that kind of thing. But I always studied the outfielder. But Dale, go ahead. This is Ralph Tyko, Dale Campbell, Welcome to the show.
Dale, very nice to meet you, sir. Welcome to Comfortable Zone Radio Network.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I could not be better. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, Lane, I just wanted to ask Mr. Randle a few questions. I think he already answered them. Basically, I started off by asking him, okay, as an example, if he is to run on first base and his objective is to run from first to third, the ball is hit behind him, that is to say right field or right center. And I just wanted to get his take as to what point did he pick up the third base coach? Was it like halfway between first and second? Was it 3/4 to the bag? And also after he has hit the bag, when did he pick up his third base coach again? When he's about a third away from third base or halfway? I just want to get his take on that.
It's kind of simple. When I'm 3/4 of the way to second, and I know where the ball's in the left center field gap, I can see it in front of me. If it's my right center field gap, I got to look at over my shoulder. But I'm picking up the coach 3/4 of the way. And I also know the arms of if it's a Pugh or Reggie Smith or, guys that we know have shotguns from Winfield to Canseco, whoever it was that were playing I could tell I got third easy standing up, or I have to go head first in the third. Now, when I got to third, 3/4 of the way, if the guy bobbled the ball or missed the cutoff man, I'm relying on my third base coach now to tell me, like a windmill, his arm's going to be like a windmill. Keep going. You're going home. Because I'm never going to slow up my speed. I'm not going to step a stutter step. I'm not going to do the cha-cha to touch the base. Whatever foot touches the base, right or left, that's the one I'm going to touch the base with to continue home. I was taught by the greatest base runners in the Steelers, Maury Wills, Lou Brock, Joe Morgan, on the planet. And those guys were my mentors. So I listened to them, and I had Bobby Winkle's fundamentals we had drills every day, Dale. And every day we'd have that right center field deal. We'd put the team that's everybody's at second or everybody's at first, and we're going home. And we worked on the cutoff man drill. Some people can't hit a cutoff man. Or they throw to the left side of the cutoff man, or they bounce it to the cutoff man. It's amazing how many outfielders can't hit the cutoff man. So that's the key on making it home.
Great. Okay, Lenny, I want to ask another question, if I may. How do you encourage students to compete and to compete at game speed, and how important is practice as far as the transfer? Because I know, like when we were growing up, the old saying was, you play like you practice and you practice like you play. Would you please comment on that?
Well, I keep my practices competitive and fun because there's a reward at end of my practices. And that reward might be pizza, burgers, and fries. It might be, 10 guys. It might be $10. It might be an outing. It might be a pair of shoes. Best guy that day. Best play that day. Best hit that day. Most hits that day. That way, I don't have to go deep into my pockets, but I can make it competitive to make the practice fun. And players are automatic competitive. I mean, you throw out a cookie and ask and say how many ants are going to eat that cookie. They're going to put a bet on it. It's right. Just the way we are. So if we continue to train and teach and make it competitive, all right, whoever hits the cutoff man or whoever scores first, I got a prize. That prize might be a top baseball card. That prize might be a room service. That prize might be a limo. That prize might be top ramen for the week.
Right.
But you make it fun. You got to. In other words, you lose your kids today. If it's not fun and practice is boring, you're going to lose your kids. And then you're going to lose the game because you practice what you preach, you practice what you play.
Right. Okay, Lenny, next question. Okay, in regards to pitching, throwing, and catching, as it pertains to a pitcher, is there a difference in your mind between control and command?
Well, I had to catch a lot with the Texas Rangers when Sundberg went down and Bill Fahey and Pruitt are catching. So I had to take over Clyde Wright, who was kind of funny on the mound, and David Clyde, and a lot of the guys that I had to go in the bullpen. So I had to learn their mental state first. See, one thing about a pitcher, and that's why you see third basemen running up to the pitcher to can call him. You have to be a sports psychologist today, and you have to keep them in the zone. And if you keep them comfortably zoned, they will be comfortable on the mound. They are the only ones on the mound. They feel like aliens. No one's out. Everybody's out to get them. Think about it, Dale. When you're on the mound and you don't go out there but 1 to 4 days a week, 1 to 4 days, you're waiting your turn. Now, relievers are up and down every day, but the starter is an alien. He's out there. He's looking for somebody to give him a hug. He's looking for somebody to say, you're okay, you're all right, you got this. You become a motivational talker for the pitcher. And then you go over the game plan. You go, okay, look, our game plan is to pitch him away. We're going to pitch him away and play him away. Now, you do that, we got this out. Now, if you want him to hit it to me, pick him inside. But the game plan, is to pitch him away. Now, if you don't want to do that, then just let's get Stearns out here, Grody out here, because I had all the greatest catchers probably on the planet. I said, let's talk about it. And the catcher would come out and go, why are you guys taking so long to figure out how to get this guy out? Mm-hmm. And the pitcher going, I'm just a little confused. And then the catcher would go, you need a freaking hug or what?
Right.
And he go, well, I don't need a hug, but do you think Blue? I said, don't call him Blue. Call him Mr. Charlotte. Call him Marty Wendelstedt. Call him Mr. Luciano. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you call him Blue, it's offensive. Maybe we got to butter the umpire up a little bit. So slow down. He's walking out. Take your time. Okay, guys, you got to break this up. And we go, Harry, are you having a bad hair day, Harry? What did you eat last night? He'll go, oh, man, I ate at Mama Leone's. Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have ate. You should have went to Regine's last night. They had the special. And he's going, you're kidding me. He goes, yeah. In fact, I got dinner tonight for you. You meeting there tonight? I'll meet you there tonight. And he goes, you kidding me? He goes, well, I'm down.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, by the way, we got to break this up.
Right.
So get everybody's mind off the problem. And then you make it a fun outing. And then you say to the pitcher, because you got to go, because you're going to be the last one to leave the mound. The umpire's going to go back with the catcher. And you go, you got this, Tom Seaver. You got this, Swanee. You got this, Gurr. You got this, Larry LeGros. We got this out. We need this out. Pitch away, play away. Now, I don't want to have to come back here and slap you on the head. You always got it with a joke, because they got to loosen up.
Right.
Lenny, may I ask you a question? I'm going to interrupt if you don't mind for just a second, Dale. About catching. You mentioned that you caught in the big leagues. I didn't realize that, and I'm just wondering if you had taken catching as your main thing when you going to school, what would have happened? Is there a way that you could have caught and developed some way of not having your legs get heavy so you could keep your game going? In other words, if you were a catcher, your running game is expected to deteriorate. Is there anything that can be done training-wise to keep that from happening to catchers, to keep their legs strong and nimble?
I was around some of the greatest catchers on the planet, John Roseborough, because they lived in Compton. And in Compton at 12 and 13, Dale Campbell and I would imaginary Dodger games, imaginary Angel games. We caught on one knee on the ground and the other knee up. In other words, we would take no pressure on both legs squatting like you take in a dump. We didn't take the squat. I saved our legs so that we could run and steal and do those things. If you notice, some of the catchers that we knew and grew up with stole bases. They were base stealers. They weren't just one-dimensional, hit a home run or a triple or just play one position. They had to play, Torrey had to play first, third, and catch. It was part of the package. You had to be the whole package. So we were taught to save your legs and be on one knee and catch and just throw the ball back to the chest.
That in itself,
and don't lob it back.
A lot of kids coming along. Yeah, great. You answered it. Dale, can I ask you some questions about yourself and your career, if you don't mind?
Yes, no problem.
Okay. I'm assuming that you came out of high school to sign in the Angel
Okay,
organization?
What happened? We have such a storied tradition in Compton, which you're probably aware of. There's so many ball players, athletes. I'm talking about football, basketball, baseball, track. But what I did my senior year at Centennial High School, I had a chance to sign with the old Houston Colt 45, which is the Astros. And I always tell this story, when Lenny and I were growing up, when your parents told you to do something, it was yes, sir, no, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So they said, no, you're going to college. Okay, so I got a baseball scholarship to, Pepperdine. And my sophomore year at Pepperdine, I was drafted by the Minnesota Twins. My junior year, I was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. In my senior year, I graduated, and I was Angels' first-round draft pick. And I played 3 years of minor league baseball with the Angels, and I messed up my knee in 71, tore my medial meniscus and my ligaments. So basically, that was it. I got released. So I came back, and I taught high school for over 31 years. I've been retired for 15. I coached baseball, did a little scouting. Reggie Smith, Mr. Lenny and Randle were kind enough to allow me to work in their baseball academy. So that's what I do. I train and mentor kids now, and I'm also helping out Mr. Don Buford now. We have programs, where we have caravan clinics. We go to some of the gang areas. We put on baseball and softball clinics, and that's what I do. That's my ministry, and that's what I enjoy doing. So
beautiful.
That's my story.
Tell me about your minor league career.
My first year I played in the Midwest League. I played at Quad City, Illinois. That was back in 1968, and that was A-ball. In 69, I played in the Cal League. In fact, back in 68, I played against Carlton Fisk, George Foster, Vital Blue, George Hendrick. I mean, it's just so many people. In fact, I played with Dave LaRoche. He was at Quad City with me in 68. In 69, I played in the Cal League. Rudy May was there for a while doing a little rehab. I played against
Lenny and I talked with Rudy May yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Right. Yeah, and then, anyways, I'm sorry. So back in 70, I played in the Texas League. I played with Mickey Rivers. And I played against, a lot of guys. I don't have time to name them. Anyways, I went to AAA spring training in 71, and like I said, that's when I messed up my knee. So, hey, that's it.
And they just released you. Right.
Well,
then.
yeah. Well, you know how it is. It's, hey, Dale, hey, how you doing? Doing okay, man? Dale who? Next? That's it.
We remember him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's how it can go.
Yeah.
You sound like you just you picked up. You just adjusted. You went back, and you don't sound at all bitter. You missed out on some big paydays, but hey, you had a wonderful career.
A lot of people got to remember this. The payday could be spiritual, and the payday could be in your heart, being around it. It's a $40 billion industry. You could always do something in the industry.
Yep.
You may not make $4 million, and you might make $40,000 or $400,000 doing something else. But you got in the system. Once you got in the system, you're in a vehicle to do something else. Some players wish they had one day of pro ball. I have players that count one day of tryout as a day of pro ball. That is not a day in pro ball, a tryout. But they claiming, I tried out for the Dodgers. I tried out for the Orioles. I tried out for the Rams. I went to winter ball. I made them in senior league.
Saying that is impressive to people, let alone literally playing pro ball. Being paid to play a kid's game. That's got to be.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Whatever you paid. You paid me $50? Okay. You paid me to play? That's pretty cool.
Let me tell you, Ralph, we were so jacked up and excited in the Torrance area and the L.A. and Long Beach and the Inglewood area. We used to chase the foul balls at Wrigley Field and get $1.50 to bring them back, and we thought we were rich.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So
that's the truth.
So it wasn't a money thing. It was an honor. It was to being around the game, doing something fun. Yeah, 2 to 7 hours of just going to the park. I don't see that anymore. I don't see kids going to the park by themselves. They got to have a battery. They got to have a machine. They got to have a coach. We get 4 or 5 guys play home run derby over the line. Let's go at it.
Yeah. Dale, tell me what Lenny was like when he was a kid.
Well, when Lenny was growing up, we used to call him the Bunny Energizer. You remember that commercial where they have the batteries where
right.
Keeps on going and going? Lenny has always had all kind of energy, just boundless energy, and he's always had a great sense of humor, and he's just fun to be around. He really is. Lenny's a great ambassador for the game.
Ralph, let me tell you this. At 6 years old, I was on medication, so for the last 60 years, I've been on medication. So it keeps me loose. It was Cheerios, Raisin Bran, and Wheaties.
That's your medication.
That's my medication.
Well, it sounds like it's working. You go at the same pace every day, Lenny. I've noticed.
I can't help it.
We talk 4 days a week.
I can't help it.
One day, and rightfully so, you buried your cousin George, and you slowed down. You took a little deep breath and a look at things, but basically every day you're at it. And do you sleep? I mean, you must sleep 8 hours. By the end of the day, are you just absolutely bushed?
No, I take a siesta. See, when I went over to Italy, I learned how to take a siesta. A siesta is 4 hours. So if you eat 4 hours at night, I only sleep 4 hours at night because my phone is ringing in Germany, Italy, Spain, and France. Because I'm still helping those teams and those players get attached to America. A lot of kids are trying to come to America right now. And with all this new passport stuff going on, they can't get into America. So call Lenny. He'll fix it.
Yeah,
so,
he will.
Well, do you get them to connect with a team first and then they come? Is that the idea?
Well, I have 10 ways to do it, and I don't want the Border Patrol to know all my 10 ways.
Oh.
But
okay.
To get in and out of America. So with those 10 ways. Yeah.
All right, Dale. Anything else you want to ask Lenny today? Before I tell you what a pleasure it was to have you. This is.
Hey, thank you very much for allowing me to share. Just one thing I would like to ask Lenny, that he can blast this across the nation. Lenny, when you were playing ball, how did you get ready mentally as pregame? In other words, how did you get ready to compete? How important was warm-ups? How were you able to focus as far as to hone in on what you really wanted to do?
Right now at the academy at the W, where we have a brand new facility, and I have 25 kids I'm doing to teach visualization. So I did visualization at 18. I would pretend I was playing, just like we did, growing up. We had a pitcher and a catcher, and we had situations in mind. Go through situations in games prior to the game. I would do 15 minutes of that visualization. And in that, before the visualization, I would calm myself down. I pretend I was in Hawaii. I would pretend I was fishing. I would pretend I was on a boat. I would pretend I was sailing along something calm. I could keep calm. And then I have the game situation. It might be a wide receiver. I was a wide receiver and a defensive back, and I was making a tackle, or I was catching a pass to save the game. So I would visualize me making a game-winning catch, either at baseball, and now like you, Dale, you played basketball because you could have been another Kobe Bryant and you turned that down. I would visualize blocking your shot. I would visualize myself blocking a 6'5" guy like you shot. I could visualize, feel like I'm doing it. And the way I do it is I grab your hip, I pull you down, or I grab your shorts, or I hit you in the ding-a-ling, and then I block the shot.
There you go. There you go. and all the above. I hear you.
But visualization, and then the preparation sprints, 10 sprints, stretching beforehand, 20 to 35 push-ups beforehand, because I wanted my arm, all flexibility, all my muscles to be peaked. And I would sweat before the game started to get out all that energy, because I had so much energy, I had to get it out before the game.
Right.
And I used to watch guys do their rituals. Every player I played with, all the teams, Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, I saw a ritual. I would watch some of the teams, Angels, I said, what is this guy doing that I could pick up from? I used to watch 4 or 5 Dodgers like a pack of wolves go to left field line and run from the left field line together. They would jog out to center field. That was their warm-up. And they're doing their unity things, kind of like Dusty, Reggie, Bronce, Garvey, and Lopes. I would watch them and watch them, well, they're together. We don't do that. Why do they do that when we don't do that? We ought to do that. And all of them hit 30 home runs. And I go, maybe guys, if all 5 of us ran out, we'd hit 30 home runs. Like, you know, so you learn, you copy, or you learn, well, maybe it's keeping the team unity together. It was a tradition.
Right.
Every franchise has their group of guys that do a certain thing together. And some guys just individual. They don't want to, you know, Dave King was just sprint on his own because that's how he was. He didn't want to be interfered with. So we just left him alone. So Billy Buckner would go, okay, I'll run with you guys for a little while because he was a Cub, and I was a teammate with the Cub. He didn't do that Dodger stuff when he was no longer the Dodger. He just did his Cub style. You know, it's a Cub thing now. So every ritual, every guy has a ritual. I've watched Beltray. I've watched Carew. I watched Rose. I watched Morgan. I watched Tony Perez. I watch Mike Trout now. I talked to guys about. I talked to James Roberts.
Lenny, what do you think of Altuve? Is he something else or what?
Altuve is a clone of 40 guys in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right.
Short, stocky, gamers, but they didn't get a chance because it was short. It was Freddie Poptak. Freddie Poptak and Campaneris. I grew up with guys like that. They were 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". They could mash. Poptak hit 20, 30 home runs once, 10 home runs, and he was 5'6", 5'8", something like that. Or 5'5".
You know, when we were kids, there was Albie Pearson to look up to, if you will.
Yeah. He came to our school. He motivated us. He was a motivation. Just walking, he motivated us. It was like, God, this guy made it big leagues. He's 5'6", 5'2". You know, it was amazing to watch and learn from Aparicio and Nellie Fox. They weren't big guys. They had 200 hits. So how did these guys get?
Before we close this, I just want to say something. We kind of half-jokingly talked about the possibility of you becoming the manager of the Mets, who just chose an American League pitching coach to manage them. And the more we talked, the conversation this morning, it really is a travesty that you're not in big league ball. It's great for international this, that, and the other thing. You develop kids, but you should be the frickin' manager of the Mets. No kid. As a Met fan, I'm saying that pure out, and I'm a fanatical Met fan. So,
well,
it's sad. No, it's sad to me more than anything else. Not just that you could be managing anywhere. That you're not managing. It's very sad to me because.
Well, I've never put in an application. I've always wanted them to call me. I'm kind of old school. I'm sorry. I just, I couldn't do the Valentine way. How Tom Rex big time go get you.
They don't recognize that, and they don't call you.
I'm okay with it. I'm happy in my skin. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Yeah. So I put it out there. If somebody want to call me and have me coach or manage, I'd win. Hit it. Period. End of story. Yeah. But I'm not gonna jump over a hoop and kiss some feet and bow down at the bridge to get a job. I'm comfortable with my family doing what we're doing, and there's a lot of peace. And you don't know. I know other side. I've been on both sides of the fence, Rob. and Dale. I've seen ownership. I've seen player side. I've seen the general manager side. I've seen the stress and the pain and the agony. I've seen families dismantled because of baseball. I've seen owners not know their kids. I've seen coaches and managers, kids hate them. I've seen it all. I've seen mom and dads. I've seen mom pitching more batting practice to a Barry Bonds than I saw Bobby Bonds pitching to the son. I've seen Maury Wills not communicate with Bub. I've seen it all. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I saw Ted Williams want to communicate more with his son, but he couldn't because he had to. We were his kids. He had 60-man roster, 43-man roster, and then his kids. So I've seen a team replace the person. I've seen teams consume players so much that they can't even deal with their families. And I'm not going to let that happen to my family. No way, Jose. No money is worth it. $4 million, $2 million, whatever. All you need is a $2,000 to $3,000 a month, my dad said, or $4,000 a month for the rest of your life in America, and you turn it into $400,000 and you live like a king. And it's not about the money. It's about providing great opportunities for your family and others, a la Jackie Robinson.
Wow. Hey, Lenny, I'm going to get, speaking of Jackie Robinson, I'm going to have Ron Rabinovitz on later in the week. Ron was a boyhood friend of Jackie Robinson. He was a kid, and through Ronnie's dad, they befriended each other. And Ronnie keeps the legacy of Jackie alive by teaching, giving seminars to kids all over the country. And I want you to talk to him about Jackie and what it's all about. So I'm going to have him on later in the week. And this was terrific having you, Dale.
Yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure.
I got to learn about you. I was the tops rep in the Cal League years later after you left. So next time you come back, let's specifically talk about the Cal League. Was the Angels team in Palm Springs at that time in the Cal League?
Well, what it was the Major League team was in Palm Springs, and the minor league trained at a place called Hopeville, California. We were sort of like stepchildren. We were separated. You know, it's not like it was today, and Lenny can attest to this. You know, the minor leagues were truly the minor leagues. You had terrible transportation, terrible facilities, and now everything seemed like it's like a country club. But that's the way it was. Hey, we were separated. You know, we were punished for playing minor league baseball, so to speak. You know, but that's the way it was back in the day for me.
Okay. Hey, thanks, guys.
Plain and simple. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Great segments. I'm very appreciative, Dale. Please come back.
You got it, man. Hey, very
all right.
Family. Thanks.
Lenny, peace and love.
Yes. Peace and love. Shalom. All the fans, stay tuned. More to come.
All right. Talk tomorrow.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.
Yeah.
We're back. Another edition of Lenny Randle's Hot Corner.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's here himself, Lenny Randle.
I wish this was a visual, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with one of the most awesome physiques in Marietta, Temecula, America. Her name is
Lisa Lee.
Lisa Lee, the original Lisa Lee, not Lisa Lee and the Cult Jam, the rock group.
Nice to meet you, Lisa.
Can you hear? He said, nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
All right.
Yeah.
This is her. How many radio shows have you done?
I don't know.
This is her third radio show, and she can remember it. She's only 19, so she doesn't have a good memory.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she can remember that 19 is a good age.
She's on a bike, riding and talking, so she's a very exceptional athlete.
Okay.
Now, one thing,
you are, Lenny.
We're right now in the Rockwell training facility with about 14 to 20 athletes, and she's one of the athletes that's trying to keep herself like better than Kim Kardashian and better than Paris Hilton.
Okay. Lisa, what are you
She
getting
doesn't know it,
from
but she is,
Lenny?
but she doesn't. Right. She said in shape. Americans should all be fit. That's the bottom line on this story.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good ending to that one. You know, you can't beat being fit, and that's no joke.
So today is about fitness and staying healthy and trying to look 19 forever. With all this intel and vitamins and pills and ginseng and people buying electrical equipment in their homes to try to look like, remember Jack LaLanne? Oops, I'm dating myself.
Oh, no, you're not. Jack LaLanne was a very, very famous guy, had a show, a daytime show out of New York, and this guy was incredibly strong. He would tow boats with a towboat in his mouth, and well into his 70s and 80s before he kicked. And
I don't think he left. I think he took some wild hickory nuts and moved somewhere out in Idaho. High now.
That was another guy that ate hickory nuts.
Wild hickory nuts. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, big old guy with a beard. I can't remember him. Before you were born, young lady.
She said she met Jack LaLanne at a spa.
Oh, whoa. Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of us didn't get to meet Jack LaLanne. That's a privilege. Remember the guy who used to do push-ups on one thumb?
I don't remember the one thumb, but I remember one-handed push-ups.
Okay, two thumbs. No, he was phenomenal. He even used to do it, Ralph, where he'd have his hands totally extended forward, and he would do push-ups with arms extended. I think he was like 105 years old. He was just a phenomenal athlete. Physique.
He was.
Forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I see more Americans trying to maintain their youth. And I see the major league players and NFL guys that try to do 24 months of training instead of just 24 hours of training. It's hard above. Fitness is important.
Hey, Lenny, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about last night's 1-1 tying game. Astros tied it last night, and the series is now at 1-1. And
I just got a Yankee coach walk in on me, so I don't know if I should interview him or not, but I'll talk about the game anyway. Did you watch the game last night?
Yes.
All right. Now, she's a Astro fan, so I'm going to leave that alone. The game is phenomenal because of the intensity of the change. There's no domination. You know, the first 3 innings, guys were a little uptight. They were a little tense. And then after that, they start going in the locker room, getting a few pina coladas. I shouldn't say that. They start to relax, basically. And there's a thing that, I don't know if you watch David Ortiz and A-Rod. There's a thing that we chant. We go, ooh-sa-la, ooh-sa-la, to relax. We deep breathe and inhale to get all that tension and stress out. Some guys do transcendental meditation. Some guys do yoga. Some people do beer. It depends on what works for you. Some do coffee. So what the Dodgers did was they took a deep breath and said, okay, we're not done yet. And the Astros went, wait a minute, we're the best offensive team on the planet this year. And we have never won a game in the offseason like a World Series, ever. And I've had teammates and friends that won the Astros, and they still suffering behind that, including Joe Morgan and Enos Cabell and Jose Cruz, and Cesar Cedeno and Nolan Ryan. So for them to win for the city is awesome.
The manager, Gardner, was really clear that he needed the Astros to win to clear that losing World Series back then. And that was tough. That was a good ball club. And
now Lisa has a favorite player she's going to talk about. Go ahead. Who is it?
I'm an Angel.
She's an Angel fan. She just switched on me again. Oh my God. She went for the Angels. She won Dodger, I think. Right now. She said she's going to trade Mountcharles to Dodgers for California and have his face back. Well, what player do you like on the Angels?
There was talk a few years ago that the Dodgers would be going back to Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
Right in the mid.
If you go all the way back to Brooklyn, she knows nothing about Brooklyn.
Well, there's not much to know, only there were a bunch of broken hearts when they left.
Huh?
And
California girl all the way.
Just remember, too, Vin Scully was a Giant fan when he was growing up in New York.
Well, he's an Eagles fan or Giants fan now, I think, Mike Trout, right?
No, Vin Scully.
Oh, Vin Scully. Well, I think everybody's from Pennsylvania and back east, and then they migrated out to California for the weather,
right.
I think. And the field was only $1 a year when they bought the stadium. So that was kind of a lifetime lease until they changed ownership.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that was. Yeah, was that affected when the O'Malleys?
Yeah, when O'Malley. Yeah, when the O'Malleys came out before they left Brooklyn, that part of the deal, Chavez Ravine would be a long-term Los Angeles for $1 a day. $1 a day lease.
And when the O'Malleys sold it, did that renege the deal?
Well, what happened is when they did the deal, the new people, I can name names, but before Magic Johnson,
Arnold and those guys.
Yeah, they had a thing about the parking. See, they mentioned the stadium, but they didn't say the parking lot. So when the people owned the parking lot, they sold the parking lot separate from owning the stadium. So they sold the stadium in the Dodgers, but they go, well, we're going to keep the parking.
All right.
And, parking's like
these new
$20
guys weren't
a
quite
person.
as smart as Walter O'Malley, who made that move, as a matter of fact.
The thing about O'Malley had a presence about him, like Dallas Green had a presence about him, and Lasorda has a presence about him. Some of the older managers, if you look at their history from LaRusso, if you want to consider him old, or old school type managers, they had a military approach towards the game. All men on hands on. Here's where we don't think about 5 and 6 innings. They were all trying to go 9 innings. And then it changed to relievers and short men coming in. It changed the game. As you notice, this World Series had about 15 different pitchers, and I think the Dodgers were down to their last pitcher last night. And in fact, I think Manny Mota was on the roster to pitch with Granderson if needed.
If McCarthy couldn't go another inning, I don't think Roberts managed that game out of the bullpen quite as well as he should have. I think he was put in a bad position when McCarthy was the pitcher in the ninth, the eighth or ninth. But that's another.
Well, you got to remember this too. You got to remember they've been using the bullpen all year: 2 innings, 3 innings, 1 hitter, 2 hitters. And a lot of people don't want Jansen to come in. Some people wanted him to stay and wait for the last. But you got to put all cards on deck. If you want to get a 2-game lead, you got to go for the now instead of, I'll save him for tomorrow. There may not be it. So you kind of go in and get the lead, and you don't think about, okay, guys, we know you pitched 20 innings, and we know some of you pitched 75 innings, and we know some of you pitched 200 innings. All hands on deck. In fact, Kershaw was thinking about going in relief.
There's some starters between starts that might have come in last night.
Yeah, Kershaw could have been a hitter or two. I mean, think about it. Remember the pitcher?
You're down to your 13th man in the bullpen in the 9th inning. I would have gone maybe. I would have thought about who's on the third day of a rotation, who would be thrown in the bullpen anyway that day. I mean, when you're talking about all hands on deck, shouldn't the starting pitchers be part of those hands?
It's become a conditioning thing now. If you're in condition to go, you take care of your arm, you have all your therapy and your treatment, and you ice it and you do the, the catfish under the fingers and the Gossage and all those guys that used to never have arm injuries. If you did those kind of theories, like Seaver did, then you got a starter. Verlander was ready to pitch last week here in L.A. Kershaw was ready to go last night if needed, 1 or 2 hitters if needed. Because some of the guys went 4 and 5 innings. Like Sabathia went 4 innings and he was done, or 4.5, and he was done. But if there was emergency need the following day, he had 2 or 3 more innings in you. It gets down to pitches. If you could do a 10-pitch inning and under, you should be in pretty good shape. You can't leave it in the bullpen. Some guys warm up too long in the bullpen.
Some guys recover differently. I mean,
exactly.
Rest one guy isn't the same as another guy. And doesn't the manager and pitching coach each day look a guy in the eye and say, how do you feel? Can you go today? Isn't there that kind of...
You remember the starter in Houston, McCuller? He came in, he's a starter, and he came in to relief at the end, and he goes, no, I'm not coming out. He just told Wentz, the great AJ, I'm not coming out. I know I walked these 2 guys. I know I gave up a hit. It's almost like a threat. If you take me out, you're going to lose your wife and kids. So he goes, okay, I'll leave you alone. You got this. Some guys can talk you into doing stuff. I've seen it my whole career. Pitchers on the mound, I've seen them go, like Verlander said, my legs are gone in the 5th inning. He said, I got no legs. I got nothing left. I'm being honest with you. I might be able to get this last guy out. I said, I can do this. So the manager's judgment is he's honest with me. He's telling me he's done. And if I leave him out here, the meeting's going to kill me. So,
that's
and he's mic'd up. So what do you
Lenny, we talked about the possibility of you managing yesterday, and I've been thinking about it. You could not deal with today's game. You couldn't deal with the agents. It's just totally different. What would you say to a player who says, wait a second, before I decide to take that shift, go in, let me talk to my agent, or before I decide to play multiple positions, let me talk to my agent. How can this hurt me? How can this help me? What would you say to that? How could you handle that?
I've known Scott Burrows and a lot of guys, Greenbergs and the Tom Retches, and I've known the top agents. Dick Moss, the first ones that kind of start the agent stuff, and I've known all the agents. And I looked at the agents as general managers because they're basically the guys that are going to be talking with the general manager about the player. So first thing you want to do is have a great rapport with the general manager and the agent. If the general manager and the agent are getting along great, and if the general manager is not getting along with the agent, then I would step in and go, listen, agent, you got to talk to either make you or break you. You could play for nothing, or you can leave, or you can have a great opportunity here, or you can have no contract. And then you got, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Billy Preston. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So if you don't want me to take this headache, I don't really need the headache because I don't think the guy's as good as God, and you think he's as good as God. All I want to do is try to win a pennant here.
Right.
Teach a family to kids and buy a house. You want to buy a car, right?
You'd have to have a general manager who could give up his ego, much like the general managers in L.A. with Socha, with the Angels with Socha. I mean, to get that kind of input and talent from your manager, you have to concede that he's an equal part of the team. And I don't think there are that many general managers nowadays in today's baseball that will give up that. They don't hire the fiery managers anymore that get attention and get press. And I think
let me give you a little inside scoop. Most of the managers have the same agent as the players. Okay, just so you know, folks. Just so you know, some of the same managers, when they didn't manage and they were players, they never got rid of their agent. they still have the same agent to get them the managerial coach's job, a minor league job, scouting job, or broadcasting agent. So you're still in the family. It's a very close-knit community. It's like every fourth player is related to a team, or owner, or family member, period, for the rest of your life. And that's not going to go away. You can call it the good old boy network, or getting in the network, or getting in the union, or being part of the family. But the baseball and sports family is very close and tight-knit. If I know an agent well, or a manager and general manager well, we've had a rapport for 10, 15 years, and then this new kid comes on the block from Jamaica or from I don't know, East Brook, right out of St. John's University, and he wants to be an agent, the St. John University new kid on the block, I don't want to deal with. I want to deal with the guy I already know, the guy that's already I've known for 10, 15, 20 years. We know his demeanor. He's not going to go to the media with everything we discuss, have a press conference and try to shame me as a manager, coach, or general manager. It's workable numbers. All the people know there's workable numbers. The industry has changed because they still go, I remember when it was only $100,000 a year. Now it's $2 million a year. Now it's $10 million, and now it's $50 million, and now it's guaranteed. It's all changing. And that one day it's going to put a ceiling on it, or the game's going to be destroyed because fans are not going to want to pay those dollars, $200 to $300 a person to watch a game. I saw people last night that paid. They stopped their mortgage. They didn't even want to pay their mortgage. They took the mortgage money and bought a Dodger ticket. They spent $2,900 and bought a ticket by Thursday.
Memories. I saw Vin Scully throw out that first ball. I know I'm sleeping in a cardboard box now, but it doesn't really matter because I've got the memories.
Yeah. He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal last night. I'm going to post a picture up. I had some Japanese students meet him. I don't know if I posted it before, but we had an internship with Vinny. And Vinny goes, look, Lenny, bring any student you want with me in the booth all the time, and I'll internship with you until I die. Because this is fun. This is something new. I had some Japanese students and some Italian students that came in, and they were young, and they were, not you. He goes, wait a minute, I'm not that old yet. He goes, so one of the Japanese girls went up to him and goes, Vinny, 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 in Japanese too. Vinny, Vinny. He goes, baby, you can call me anything you want. Just don't call me stupid. And he's got a great sense of humor. And he goes, can I get a kiss? And he gave him a kiss. And he goes, Lenny, you got any geishas? If you got geisha girls, I'm with you for the rest of my life. He's witty. That skit he put on last night. I mean, Steve Yeager does camps for me. And I had no idea that Yeager, good buddy, good friend, was going to come out of the bullpen. He's a bullpen catcher, in case folks didn't know that. Would be a part of last night's phenomenon. So,
right.
And then Fernando of Venezuela, the legend. That's like Koufax and Drysdale coming out of retirement to come to the field again. That's the current hoopla. People went absolutely nuts. And you got to remember, 70% of the fans are Hispanic. So it was like a one big fiesta last night with Fernando. And they're still partying, folks. Everybody went to work today.
And it was my hero who was sitting right behind home plate, and that's Larry King, one of my real heroes.
I saw Larry King. You know, he was sitting next to Reggie Bush and his wife. We did some camps with in San Diego. And I wondered if they knew each other. I wondered if they spoke. I just wondered, will Reggie and his wife go speak to Larry King with the suspenders? Because he's a suspender guy. Would they know that?
Right. Somebody said on Facebook the other day, all that's left of him is suspenders and a forehead. That's all.
He's a character, though. He's a legend, too. I'm surprised he wasn't involved in the skit. Yeah.
He was indeed, and he carried the show. There was a show in New York when I was growing up, an all-night show, hosted by a guy named Long John Nebel. And Long John would have a panel of guests and discuss any topic under the sun. He had Madeline Murray on, who was an atheist. He had Kurt Vonnegut. he had just as regular panel members, and they just shoot the shit and educate the kids who would stay up all night instead of listening in high school. We'd sleep through high school, but we'd get our education by all-night radio and listening to Life. And Larry King kind of took over that slot from Long John Neville. 2 or 3 people had it after him. And Larry King became a legend in broadcasting. Terrific interviewer. He just...
He's a people person.
I think he's still doing it. He never lost it. There are some people that can do it into their 80s and 90s, and it's an inspiration to we folks, me in my 70s, you in your 60s, that we can get old without being elderly. And, or elderly without being old. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. What do you do to stay in shape physically?
I have a routine of a lap a day, a walk a day, a mile a day, and then I'll do, I'm training, 25 kids doing demonstrations of hitting, running, and fielding. Base stealing, I do 10 sprints to show them how to get loose, how to get a jump on the ball. So I'm training every day. It starts with just waking up in the morning. I'm running to the toothbrush, and I'm running the car to get to the facility right on that, the beach, the ocean, wherever our camps are around the country. Hey, I was on my way to Palm Springs again, and the guy goes, no, don't come. We're going to Vegas. All the books are out. The Sports Life magazine books are out. So they're distributing them across Las Vegas. The whole 15 quarter in California will be getting those magazines written and filmed by kids.
Right.
With Larry Wright. So he was all excited. So never a dull moment around the journey. It's either riding or broad, staying in shape. So you got to remember, every day, I don't know what you do.
How will that change when you go back to Italy in a week or so?
It doesn't change. I do that every day wherever I'm at. Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Canada. I don't change my routine. Most of the hotels or the condos or the villas that I stay in have a workout facility. So, or we have the beach. The beach is 15 steps away. The ocean, the Mediterranean Sea, 15 steps away from where I stay and live. So it's not I take a swim, out to the sharks and back. And
trying to make the sharks' attention as you go.
I don't think that's neat. I think they give me a pass.
Okay, right. Well,
so
especially on Fridays where you are.
Yeah, Fish Friday is not their day to eat, Lenny.
It's not Lenny Friday, it's Fish Friday.
Fish Friday.
Instinctively, they know it. So we're going to be able to do this when you get back to Italy, am I right? You're going to have a line to continue.
We're never going to stop until the sponsor goes, okay, I want to go global now.
Okay, well, who the sponsor is. Tally Makes Soap. That's the sponsor. Hey, listen, Lenny.
Cheerios and granola. Cheerios and granola and oatmeal, folks. Keep you young.
Right. And I'm guessing to be serious, I'm guessing you didn't eat a lot of red meat through your life.
I don't have time. I don't have time to think about, I've had the same diet pretty much. I diversify because Italy is different than America, but I pretty much the same, toast, eggs, bacon, waffles, turkey bacon, fish, everything green. I eat salad and all the fruits. People, you got to change the diet, make you not get fat, won't get diabetic, and you won't age. Try to stay in that frame of mind. I know it's hard and it's tempting, especially if you get a 5-course meal. But it doesn't have to be the whole meal, just a little bit of 5 courses. Not not a buffet.
You could just cut the portions in half and
the portions. Just cut the portions.
Get the same satisfaction out of the food, and just eat a little less, and or better still, just eat what you burn up what you eat, and everything will take care of itself.
Yeah,
and lucky enough, you're blessed with some good genes too. That helps.
Yeah, eat enough to live, not enough to eat.
Right. Good.
Some people get obese. They think it's all you can eat every time they go out to eat or cook at home. You got to get full. You don't have to get full. You can go 2 meals a day and get by.
Absolutely. All right, Lenny. We'll talk tomorrow, my friend. I enjoyed it. Tell Lisa that Lisa, am I correct? That was her name.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
Tell her she's charming. 19 years old.
She's 64 years old, and she looks 19.
Oh, so I get you.
She's one of those. Yeah. Yeah, she's one of those J-Los.
Quite well for a 19-year-old. She communicates quite well for a 54-year-old as well.
She's alert. She's hanging out with 13. Let's see. Average age in here right now is about 21. 21 to 60. Training.
So when you come to visit,
and a couple others.
You must be like a major celebrity when you walk in the door with these things.
I'm gonna tell you. This morning I was in a what do you call it? It's kind of a bakery, and it's a kind of a bed and breakfast type place with all the everything you could think that's cooked is baked, and everything that you eat with cheese on it, including croissants. And they asked me what did I want. I said a cappuccino and a donut, and they went, "What? That's it?" There it is. Everybody else was picking out like it was the Last Supper, and I said, "I'm going to do the radio show in here." And then the cook came out, and then the other cook came out. And I go, "No, he's calling me right now because I can't sign autographs and eat and do all this at the same time." And then go to the facility and train 25 kids. They go, "Oh no, here's a card, here's a picture." So one of the guys goes, "Let me open your trunk and get some stuff." "I don't know you, sir." "Well, I give you the keys to my trunk and let you get balls out of my car." So I sent them away. He goes, "It's amazing what people do."
If an adult comes over to you and recognizes you as a ball player and is courteous, wants to come over, doesn't interrupt you when you're eating, that kind of thing, and talks to you, and you're obviously going to respond in a positive way, what's the most common question that you're going to get?
Will you sign this? Will you sign this for me? Aren't you? You look familiar. You are, and they keep saying it until I tell them who I am.
Yes, I am.
and then I'll go, okay.
That has any kind of curiosity as to not just the autograph, maybe the interaction is more important than the autograph. You learn that when you're an adult, but. What would they ask you? Seriously.
There was this guy from New York, seriously, he was an Italian fellow at McDonald's, and I was driving through to pick up an order of fish sandwiches, just fish sandwiches. And they said, he goes, "You look familiar." And I go, "Look, kid, and 7 years old." And he goes, "You look familiar." I go, "Sir, here, just take this card. I'll sign it. But I got to watch these 5 kids because they might run into a car. It's a drive-through McDonald's, and you got a play area, and you don't want them to get kidnapped because you need to have to think about this stuff." And he goes, "Look, I know you." I go, "Okay, I know you too. So why don't you watch your little granddaughter, and I'll just give you this, and we'll later at like another time." Yeah. Number has my card on it. As I'm blowing.
Jim Bouton had a company that made up cards. I used to have some when I was doing comedy. Did you have cards made up to sign and what have you for folks?
I'm blowing the baseball, card file where it's a card count, and then it has my Italian team photo on the other side of it, and it's, it's worth about $100. It's our own card company. So I'll send you one. And it has the number on it and the email. So you can call me if you want or email me if you want. And then I'll autograph the card. And those just came out. This company just put them out. And I had 500 of them. They're done. I don't have any more. So I called, I said, can you give me another 500? He goes, how about 5,000? I go, I only want to see 500 people a week. 5,000, I'll never go home. I'll be signing cards at the parking lot. I'll be signing cards at the store. Because I get it a lot where, are you Willie Randolph? Are you Arsenio Hall? You look are you doing TV? So I'm going to tell him I'm Ralph Tyko.
Oh, yeah, that'll get you far.
Without the beard.
Without the beard, of course.
Without the beard.
Love you, Lenny. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao, ciao. Grazie tutti. Adios.
Shalom and l'chaim. Adios. Adios, everybody. Stay tuned. We got another segment or two coming up.